What's up, guys? How's it going? Welcome back to another clip of Nito 1320 Legends. Today we are going to be tuning the Pontiac Trans Am Firebird. I do not know if this is the anniversary version. I think this is the anniversary anniversary version. It has the 5.7 liters. It is doing 30 psi. The reason why is because I have a supercharger in it. It's making 529 at 574 pounds of torque. Let's see. The dyno graph seems to be doing pretty good, and the whole purpose of this video is to show you guys how basically how to modify your engine to cope with the power. Seems to be doing pretty good. It's running right now. I have it running on rich. I believe this is rich because if it's green, then it's lean. Then if it's red, then it's rich, I believe, in the tuning world. So, yeah, it looks pretty good. Supercharger 30 PSI. I have, I think the Dragon Sports or something like that. So 27 PSI. I wanted to add a pulley on it. So increased it another 3 PSI, which is actually pretty good. As you can see, it's the Auto Rock. So, just gonna give you guys a dyno of what it runs prior to installing the supercharger. The LS engine is a great engine. I just love it. I think the LS engine is like the the Honda series motors, the B series and the B16, B18, and whatnot. And for those who don't know, anything about the Honda series motors, basically it's a lot like the LS platform. I think that's why in the tuning world there's a lot of people who like to tune the B series and the LS comparably from the imported muscle. The LS, you can do the LS bottom with any of the LS top to increase horsepower. So with the same concept, basically a lot of the Honda motors are exactly the same. They have a bottom block, and then they add the head top or the top piece, which actually increases horsepower. A lot of it is main due to the VTEC system, and just like in the Chevy motors, it's a lot more aggressive either cams or more aggressive valve timing. So that's why it's so beneficial to swap in and out, and I think that's why in the race world, both the Honda and both the Chevy motors are proven to be really superior. But not to just rule out anything else too. There's other vehicles that have that same concept and the same tuning in process. So yeah, don't rule all the other cars out too. I'm not sure about Fords. I haven't really worked on any of the engines, but I'm pretty sure there's something similar to that too. Let's veer away from the whole off-topic subject. So I've dynoed it. We made around 350 horsepower stock. Right now I'm about to just basically test it. This is a 30 psi charger. It's at I think a very safe fuel rating, but even at a very safe computer setting, it's really matters on what your tune really has. So make sure that you have 100% flow. Right now I don't have 100% flow. As you can see before, I have about 68% on both the induction areas, such as the intake piping, and then the exhaust area, which is the exhaust. Both that 68% runs really fair, actually, to say. Let's see, I think it was like 11 1, right? I believe. So we made 11-1 pass on the quarter mile. I am using the C6 6-gear ratios, and if you go to like LS1 Tech forums and whatnot, or you Google it, a lot of those ratios transfer over to Nito very well, and quite well actually. Nito has a really good tendency to to transfer these gear ratios and and actually simulate the the process, or I guess the speed of the ratios really well. So yeah, I mean that's one thing I like about Needle, and that's one thing I like about Google Forms too, or I mean not Google Forms, but Google searches and other forms. So if you can't find the stock gear ratios, just look on Google. It's everything is really relatively very well. So we just did 11 pass on the newbie strip. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm going to show you guys a play-by-play of how this engine reacts at 30 psi, stock internals. Let's see, stock fuel rating, stock fuel, what is it, exhaust and intake. Yeah, so far it's doing so good, pretty good actually. So yeah, the reasons why you see my gear is running revving really quick is just because of that the gears. Now second gear though, however, I do have a little kind of skepticism because second gear seems to rev really quick. Now I don't know how quick it does rev in the C6. I've been in a 6-speed C5. It seems to me that second gear gives you more of a run rather than a short throw, from what I can remember, but I could be wrong. I am also I grabbed these ratios off of LS1 Tech, so you can find all of these on LS Tech forums. If you find the engine code or the training code too, you can find all that right there. So basically what I like to do is take the real specs, and I like to tune it accordingly. So yeah, I mean that's just, I mean I get bored, so I guess you can say it's like Needle role play, I guess you can say. But yeah, that's what I do though. So if you guys ever race with me, or if you guys ever want to do a challenge with me, let me know, because I will do some challenge like, oh, you must do a stock block, can't boost, and just build it, or you can do, or just do a stock block, who can boost the most, you know, and without fluids. Or whatnot, you know, or keeping the body the same or whatnot. So anyways, by the way, if you look at this Trans Am, it is aesthetically modified and is now internally modified. So I spent about, let's see, on the charger kit by itself with the pulley, I spent about $6,000. So the charger kit and the pulley is going to cost you $6,000. Which is not so bad, considering that if you go turbocharge, it would be nice if actually they have turbocharge, but if you do go turbocharge, you are expected, let's see, the turbo could range about, I think the cheapest would be about 300, or no, yeah, about like 500, 600 to maybe 1,000, depending on how many pounds of pressure you're trying to push. Let's see, then you got the intercooler, which is another 1,000. You got the intake, or you got the pipings, which could cost you about $700 to maybe another 1,000. Then you got downpipe and whatnot. So it just depends. Turbos can cost more than 1,000. I think I've seen one up to 4,000. That's a 42 psi turbo on one of these import cars. I'm not sure if it was an import or a muscle. I think it was a no, I don't want to say Shelby GT500, but because I know that was a supercharged tune. But anyways, it does get up there, and it does get pretty expensive. It just depends on how much you're willing to spend. So this whole episode, basically, I got $20,000, and I'm just gonna spend whatever's in my $20,000 category. So yeah, I mean it's going on pretty smooth, as you can see. 11,105, not bad. I think my fastest was 11,104, was pretty good. So it's running low 11s, going to enter the 10-second range if I modify. I think with fluids, I can probably run the 10.9 range, and with NOS I can probably run the 9.4 range at this current setup, but I do run the risk of blowing my motor. So it's running pretty good. Again, I got gear ratios for this, and I'm just using the stock C6 ratios, the 6 gear ratios, and it's running good so far. I mean, the LS1. Let's see what else. What else is also interchangeable? I would like to see. I would like to see if like you can swap like like a 5 gear gearbox in it, to run a faster time on the quarter mile, especially these 5-6 second cars. I think it would be pretty fun because in this game you need the full 6 gears to actually run the fastest time. Not necessarily the fastest time because it requires horsepower too, but from my experience, 6 gears seems to be the fastest, just due to the fact that there's no shift lag, or the no time, no. I guess the shift time between each gear is very consistent. So therefore, rendering the 5 gears more. Let's see, rendering the 5 gears more. I don't know. I don't want to say useless, but underpowered against the 6 gears. But yeah, I think one thing I do like about this game too is like you can actually tune your gear ratios to your preference, which is actually very good. So as you can see, my fuel consumption is very bad. I have about average of 47 across the whole board. That's what I want to fix. Let's see. It is at 76%, but it's still not good. Both are at 68%. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to optimize this tune by going bigger. And the thing is, every time I build a car or if I build a tune, I always want to go bigger. So you always want to go bigger intake, bigger bigger air filter, bigger exhaust system. And the reason why is because you want to work your way down. So whatever you buy gives you a bigger rating, like gives you a good visual, or I guess mental process of you going up, going down, and closing in on that one specific range, rather than going smaller and then going up. I guess it kind of is the same if you can go up or down or up, but I like to go up then down, and like narrow down my the process. But for this whole setup, I am not going to go to Vista. I am in Creekside, so I can purchase the 1080 cc's. So I purchased the 750 cc instead. As for fuel rail, this one, see, when it comes to like fuel consumption and fuel rails and stuff, I hate this part because everything's kind of the same. They all have the same function. But they don't tell you the size or how good is it or the percentage. So that's where you're gonna have to really test and tune. So I'm always gonna go for Goodman fuel pressure regulator. It's always Goodman or Techno line. Those are the two brands that I like the best for the fuel consumption. As you go down to maybe like the fuel pump and whatnot, it kind of just depends on which one. Netron is actually pretty good too, but I usually use Gooman and and Technoline. Excuse me one second. Ooh, my mouth is dry. I need to hydrate more. So anyways, we got the fuel pumps. It's working pretty well. The fuel pump is at 55, which is at 85%. Fuel rail's good. Injectors bad, not so good, 69%. Fuel pressure's at 95%, not so bad. Fuel pressure regulator. It kind of sucks how Nito does this. Kind of wish they were enlightened this part down a little more so you can see the percentage, but I'm gonna show you guys again. 55 at 85%, then we got 70 at 100%, and 45 at 69, 62 at 95, and as you can see, the flow required is 65. So that is the flow, the measurement of units, I guess you could say. I call it the measurements of units of air, I guess you can say, that passes through or in or out. In this case, since we're in the fuel, then it would be a fuel units. But I'm gonna go ahead and buy this Superprec Superflow X2 injectors, basically 15% more than 15% more efficient than stock. So I'm gonna give it a try. That doesn't sound promising, but it's a lot better. I'm gonna try a different fuel pressure regulator. Usually with the injectors, I like to, if I boost anything more than 20, let's say 20 pounds, I like to get 100 cc's, and the reason why I like to get 100 cc's because if you really built a car before, a turbocharged car or a supercharged car, you want to get the injectors ahead of time, like bigger injectors ahead of time, or just injectors that can spew out more ahead of time, than rather than buying a 450 injectors right now and then upgrading. The reason why I say that is because a lot of tuners, a lot of tuning mechanics, they recommend you, let's say, like if I boost 15 psi and the dyno, and I run a 4, or no, my tuner recommends me to run a 450 to push out the most boost. So I'm going to do this on a 15 psi turbo to push out the most boost and to get the most efficient fuel system. But long run though, let's say out of that 15 psi turbo, I want to tune it up a little bit more. I want to do 22 psi instead of 15 now. So what happens is my injectors are no longer good for that 22 psi run. I'm going to end up stressing my motor because of the fact that my injectors can't feed enough fuel. So usually I always go with 100 with 1000 cc if I'm building anything more than 20 psi. This just happens from experience, so I'm just taking it into Nito, and Nito does a good reference of that too. But in this case, I guess every tune is always maximized to the tune, and it's always dyno tuned to the right specifics, I guess you can say, if you can find the right parts. So that's the difference between Nito and real life, is that real life they can actually, so it's say if you get 1000 cc injectors and you only boost 15 psi, even though you probably won't need 1000 cc injectors, they can tune that injectors to only feed in 350 cc's or 450 cc's. So that's the good thing about real life tuning, and having the right computer chip and whatnot, and having the right tuner to tune your car. So excuse me. Yeah, that's the benefits. I see the thing is, what kind of bothers me is that the ECU in here doesn't play much of a role. I almost feel like the ECU does not play any role. I mean, I purchased multiple ECUs and tried to test them out, and I even have a video on it, and it doesn't seem to do a difference but just move the fuel ratios left and right. So I guess that would be great if the fuel meter, the airflow meter, Formula Line airflow meter wasn't in play, where you can actually dial the knobs left and right, which is basically tuning your ECU. So if that didn't have much of a like, that kind of just hindered every other ECU, kind of useless, unless someone can call me out on that. But I would love to see a video to see a real good comparison, because from my experience, it doesn't seem to work. So as you guys can see, I was going pretty fast. Fuel rails didn't check out, so I'm actually gonna go to, what was I gonna do? I had pipings. I had intake pipings for sure. That was a big bummer to this tune. So I'm gonna do intake piping, exhaust piping, and I still got to. Well, right now, I'm gonna run the fuel ratio that it's currently in. I might stress out my motor. It's probably running a little bit more lean than I want it to be. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave it right there for right now for the Creekside until I move to Vista. So hopefully a car of mine sells so I can move to Vista. We are going to, let's see. I just kind of lost track right here. It's intake piping, Dragon Motorsports. I think I'm gonna choose the, what is it? The Dragon Motorsports Max Race Intake, engineered for maximum performance gain on race-tuned cars. So that's what I want. This one's pretty good too. The Breeze, 3.75 millimeter or inch diameter, pretty good size. It seems to be the maximum size. I'm gonna buy the Fire Shield Racing thermal wrap to keep everything cool inside my car. Let's see. I probably don't even need it, the thermal wrap, because usually you get it for turbocharged cars. But I guess it keeps my mufflers cool, right? Or it keeps my headers cool actually. So that's pretty good. Let's see. I'm gonna go for piping. Since I got a 3.5 intake, I want a 3.5 going out too. So the amount of air that I'm inducing in, I also want to exclude out, or exert out. That's a better way. I'm at 11,000 right now. Now 10,000. Just bought mufflers, or bought piping. I'm gonna look through muffler. I like the TRM. So it's a titanium exhaust muffler. There's the Monarch drag, but this one has it's a lightweight edition, 7 pounds. That's pretty light for a muffler piping. Muffler system. Or not muffler system, just muffler. Let's see. We're gonna look for a Cadillac converter. We want 3.5. I am actually gonna go. Brosec's got a 3.75. Brosec is pretty good, the Magnum Cats. So I'm gonna actually get that one. Usually the light ones are pretty good too. Headers, I don't really know. Headers are a gamble because they never tell you the sizing of what it actually is as you exert the power. So that's what I'm looking for, the power, the size of the headers when it's exerting the power. So I think I'm just gonna go for the Brosec Magnum headers because the Brosec. Let's see, pretty much the same. These other headers are cheaper, which is pretty good. I usually run the TRM. This is a 421 design with a 3.25 collector, which is pretty good. So that means by the end of that header, it has a 3.25 collector. It opens up to a 3.5 inch wide pipe, which is really good. Let's see, air filters not doing so well. 55 units, 85%. Well, that's not bad. 75% for the intake piping, so that means we might need a bigger one. Throttle body we have not touched yet, so we're gonna need to do that. It's at 66%. Exhaust is looking pretty good. It's at 88% overall, or 98%, I think. 100 per 100, 62%, 100% on the mufflers. It's doing pretty good. We need to change the exhaust piping, so maybe a bigger exhaust piping or not. Yeah, 98% for the exhaust. 76 for the intake. We do need to change those, so we're gonna go back to the store. This is this whole tuning process takes a lot of going back in and out of the store and back into your garage and remembering your parts and whatnot. Intake manifold. Let's buy the ultra lightweight design computer intake manifold. I'm gonna buy that. You know what? Didn't even need to buy an intake manifold because we have the supercharger. Stupid of me, but it's okay. It's still good to have if I want to go all motor. Remember, stock block everything. Throttle bodies, when it comes down to it, it's another gamble too, because you doesn't really tell you. This one is an 85 millimeter, which should come out to a 3.5. I think 3.5 or a 3.25 inch um, uh, collector, which is pretty good. I don't really know. I don't have my calculator with me, but it's somewhere around there. Because I know that 100 millimeter is about 4 inches. So that's always good. Remember your millimeters versus inches, because this game has a lot of it, and it's very good to know. Let's see. Kosin K1 Ultra High Flow. That one's usually good about throttle bodies. When I buy parts, I usually buy parts like relative to other tunes. So a lot of my muscle cars usually have type of magic. I call it magic item, which is basically one brand that does really good for the car. And then versus to like my import into my Euro and tuner cars, or my exotics and whatnot. So I always keep that in mind. I always watch the parts and brands. The reason why is just because some parts just do better. It's kind of like Gradient HKS, and then you go from that, and then you go to the muscle part, which is Helion, and whatnot. Yeah, and so you got to keep that in mind too. And some brands they do deliver. So being this game, after tuning a while, you start to know which brand is pretty good. I did go with the best super speed throttle body first, and I couldn't buy the K1s. The engine VX11 is kind of like what is it? Kind of like an AEM kind of thing, or AEM. Wait, is it AEM or what's that brand that has like, or like caters to like both imports and, well, there's a lot of brands, but I'm trying to think of one. It's not like Magnum Flow exhaust. That one pretty much caters to almost every vehicle. So that's like the basic exhaust system that you can get from basically any like tire shop or exhaust shop. Then when you get up to the higher brand, you have to order it from the factory or from a second hand dealer or whatnot. So airflow rating, we got a 62% intake, piping's at 69, throttle bodies at 60, which is 92%. Not so bad. Everything's checking out. Whoops, wrong car. Wanted to click parts. Let's see. We got the injectors in. We got the superchargers. What am I looking for? I keep forgetting. Intake piping. So I'm gonna put back the Dragon Sport just to see where I'm at on the intake piping. I'm at 84%. So intake piping 77%, which is worse than the current one that we had. I might want to switch that before we do anything else. The throttle body is doing okay. I don't think I'm going to switch it out. Let's see. Exhaust piping. We need to get the exhaust piping handled. So once we get that up and running, I think we should get a good amount of horsepower to our car. So check the exhaust piping. Naomi, we got Auto Rock, high performance flow pipe. I'm probably gonna buy that because it's the exhaust piping that's offering for the LS1 series. Again, these are all random parts that I'm just like picking off and on. Seems to be doing good. Yeah. We got headers at 100%, Cadillac, everything's at 100%, checks out. The only thing now is the intake system. So that could probably hurt our car, but I'm going to go ahead and take all these off. Our dyno tune. We're going to go back to dyno tune. I'm going to tune this car out. We're making 806 horsepower at 876, and this is at regular fuel rating, which is pretty good. Let's 832 horsepower at a very, let's say, rich source of fuel, I guess you can say. I don't know if it's lean or rich. I think red usually means lean, and green usually means rich. So anyways, I guess we're running lean. then we're running the most fuel we can get, and or I guess as little as fuel. I don't know. I don't really know this if it's the littlest of fuel with the maximum air. It's one of those two. But anyways, so our car is running lean right now. So we're gonna go ahead and give it a try. I really hate this stupid stupid thing. So we're gonna try to enter. It's a 9.4. We just hit a 9.4, as you guys can see. Previously, let's see. Okay, so F5, F4. Stupid, wrong number again. I think this is the reason why people don't race on these tournaments thingies anymore. Stupid. It's pretty stupid and it's pretty dumb. Before enter 9.4. All right, we are in. That's for sure. Get this baby up and going. Let's see what it really runs. So again, I do have the C6 gear ratios. I forgot what engine what tranning code was it, but we ran a 9436, pretty good. I think it's called it starts with a B, something like a bronze something transmission and whatnot. So I'm running a 2.9 first gear, 2.0 second gear, and I think 1.3 third gear, one of those two. But it's somewhere around there. Yeah, it's running pretty good. It's running pretty fast. It's not the fastest right now, but 9.4, add maybe nitrous, you probably hit 8.4s. Maybe increase that another second and whatnot. Maybe close. I could say I want to say maybe close to the 7-second range, if I add a 300 shot nitrous. I believe that it has to offer. Maybe around the close to the 7-second range. Maybe close to the low 8s, high 7s. Maybe if I tune up the gears a little bit more. Seems to be doing pretty good. Ran the first 2 runs, no problem. Running 9.4s. This would be pretty good. I spent about, let's see, I'm at $5,649 right now, so I spent about $15,000. See, this is the reason why I say this this diagnostic tool is so really good, because it's so worth the points. It's 44 points, and you can get that for free pretty much if you do the free offers. 44 points. It's damn worth it. You get to see how your engine reacts and how your engine acts, why your engine's not running properly and whatnot. Let's see. Get into second gear. Second gear comes pretty quick. Third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear is at 146 miles, 47 miles per hour is at 9 seconds, 9.4 seconds. So pretty damn good setup. Very solid. I am running I think it was the NT 555Rs. So they do grip a lot better. Yeah, it's pretty good. I think the NT05s might make the car run just a little bit quicker, or at least more consistent. But the NT 555Rs, the drag radios, those are the bang for the buck. $1,000, and they're basically like drag radios. Pretty good for a lot of bracket tunes. A lot of people like to run drag slicks, but I like to run drag radios. So let's see. We won that one. I was gonna exit out of nowhere. I don't know why, but yeah. Let's see. Everything seems to be checking in pretty well. Car's running pretty good. I did have an engine damage, so I was. Oh, that's right. I was gonna exit because had engine damage. So after what, we're about almost 900 horsepower, shy of 900 horsepower. Well, not really shy, but 833 horsepower that we have put onto this car, and Yeah, man, we have engine damage. It seems to be doing pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, fifth gear has a little bit hard time of running up those numbers. 10.8. So we did hit a 10.8. Pretty damn good for a blown motor. Not to be, I mean, yeah, pretty much. Blown head gasket, valves, pistons, engine blocks, and connecting rods altogether. $1,100 worth of damaged goods. So this basically goes to show that the block cannot handle the stress and all that pressure. Basically, you need to, or basically we need to fix the head and the bottom block, which we should do, and which I am going to do, but probably gonna have to do that on another video. Um, let's go ahead and give it another run to actually see if it actually will run again a faster time. If not, it would be pretty good for a blown motor to run 10.8s pretty consistently. Get here to third gear, fourth gear at almost 105 miles per hour. Fifth gear cuts it at 136 at 10.875 seconds. Pretty good so far. I actually really like this tune. I'm getting good times. I'm running low numbers, and for 15 grand, it's doing pretty good for a 10.8. I'm not gonna lie, 10.8 for 15 grand, not the best, but probably better than anything. 10 grand in a Civic probably gets me right about 10.8 too. I mean 15 grand if I was to tune a really aggressive tune on it. So it's pretty good, really fair. I don't know if anything else would come comparable. Maybe another engine, maybe the Shelby GT500. I do have to tune that one. I haven't yet quite immersed myself in a whole stock tune, but let me find a stock Shelby GT500, maybe with a diagnostic tool. If not, I'll probably buy it. And yeah, I'll probably show you guys how I'm gonna tune that one too. Probably most likely a supercharger kit on it. But yeah, I'm gonna start doing a little bit more muscle videos. You'll see here in nearing the future. So just stay in tune. This motor is actually doing pretty good. I'm very surprised that it's actually still running. About 10.8. So 10.8 on a broken motor. I think I'm gonna keep it like this, just due to the fact that it's actually running so fast already. So probably gonna keep it like this. Maybe make some races. I think with the fluids, I won't break this engine as easy as it should. But then again, I would spend about $245 every 3 races, so that takes it into consideration. Add some NOS in it, about 300 shot, 250 shot NOS. I probably would get in the good 9.4 second range with that too. Yeah, I mean everything checks out. Car looks pretty good. Probably gonna have to make another video and show you guys how to fully put this engine all together and give you guys the DL on the heads and the blocks. So stay tuned for the next episode, and I'll show you guys how to officially put this engine together. Hopefully get no engine damage. All right guys, take it easy. Peace.